So, that list I put up of what people most fear. What was right at the top? What do people fear most? Loss of mental capacity. These come into effect when you've lost your mental faculties. What was next? Loss of control. These give control back to the patient because it's the patient's own words. It ensures their wishes are known. It also assists healthcare providers with decision making. I remember when we got the legislation through in Queensland, I had an email from a intensive care specialist at Townsville Hospital who said, thank you, we finally have some idea what unconscious people coming into our wards might want. It also relieves family stress at times of trauma. Now, you all know that times of stress and trauma can bring out both the best and the worst in families. And if there is no documents, nobody's been appointed with authority to make the decisions, or the person hasn't written their wishes down, someone has to make the decision. At every wedding and funeral from then on, when someone's had a few jars, you killed my mother. Well, no, I didn't actually. I followed exactly what she had said she wanted under the conditions. I honoured her wishes. Don't leave your families in such a fraught situation. And I'm talking to everyone here, not just the people you care for. Take responsibility for your own future healthcare and complete your documents. It also gives security in relation to future events and allows someone to live well now, without worrying about what's going to happen down the track. I told you that was what first propelled me onto this path, finding that people were really worrying about what was going to happen down the track. I hope my house doesn't burn down, but I have an insurance policy against that. I hope I don't have a car accident. I have an insurance policy against that as well. I hope I'll never be terminally ill and can't speak for myself, but I have an insurance policy against that too. I have written down my wishes in an advance directive and I have appointed someone to make decisions for me if I can't do that. I hope I never need it. I expect to go on till I'm 150 and just fall off my perch. There's a fair chance I mightn't. And if I don't, that's my insurance policy. So what are some of the barriers? Now, I love this one because you have a look. CTY means community, HPs means professionals. So we asked health professionals and community members, what do you think would stop someone writing an advance directive? Not knowing how to do it, not knowing enough about them came in first. Yep, that's fair enough, but it's not rocket science. I could sit for 15 minutes with any one of you and you'd be able to go and work with, well, I hope after today you'll be able to go and work with your clients, residents, patients, and complete your own document. It isn't that difficult. However, you'll notice that health professionals thought it was a bigger problem than the community did. The community know that it's not such a big deal. Then look at the next three. Oops. 63% of health professionals said people would prefer to leave the decision to the doctor. No, we wouldn't, said the community. 75% of health professionals said people don't like to think about end-of-life issues. Yes, we do, said the community. Who doesn't like to think about end-of-life issues? I've had doctors say to me, Colleen, we were never taught to talk about death and dying. We were taught to talk about caring and curing. Well, guys, get with the program. There is no other way of getting off this mortal coil. Every one of us is going to die, and so are our patients, clients, residents. We've all got to get comfortable with talking about death and dying. It's not morbid, although my kids have forbidden me to talk about it at dinner parties. It's just part of the cycle. We've just got to get comfortable. And look at the last one. 69% of health professionals said people would prefer to leave the decision to the family. And basically the community said, rubbish. We don't want to leave the decision to the family. We want to make our own decisions. And folks, look out for the baby boomers. They're not going to let anybody else tell them what to do. And the community group here included people from 18 to over 90. And it was just the very oldest people who wanted to leave the decision to the doctor, because that's been part of their life. They are not used to having the right to say what they do and don't want. Okay. Now, just one plea, please, and I'm sure I don't have to say it in a place like this, but please, please, please take care of our informal carers, our carers who are at home looking after someone 24/7, 365. They carry an enormous burden quite often, and the Personal Wellbeing Index, which is used to assess someone's wellbeing across Australia, carers have the lowest wellbeing index of anyone. And a major stress among carers of people with dementia is not knowing what is the right thing to do and being afraid of doing the wrong thing. And some of that stress can be relieved with appropriate advanced care planning, where they have asked the person what they would want under certain circumstances. People with mild to moderate dementia should be supported to complete their advance directive and to appoint a medical agent. Given what you've just said, I would say a medical agent in preference to an enduring guardian, but a medical agent can't decide where you're going to live or what other activities you might undertake. So for the moment, I think you might be stuck with both. And people with advanced dementia who haven't appointed someone will need to rely on their person responsible.